Cam Rogers here alongside Tom Downey. It is time to get into the latest NFL rumors out there, and we will start things off with LeVeon Bell perhaps skipping camp. Sounds likely.
And we're going to give this one 3 heads. It's not quite set in stone by Bell, but the report is that his tentative plan is to miss camp and then be good to go for the regular season. And that missing any games would be a huge shock as well, which I don't think he's going to do because he wants that money up front. So the plan is only tentative, but this does seem pretty likely to Cam, which again, as you mentioned at the top of the show, I think that's going to lead to some awkwardness, if not outright displeasure from his teammates. Because you got to be there at some point. Because everyone knows he's probably not going to be back in Pittsburgh, so now you're not even here at all. That's not a good sign for Bell and I think his teammates.
Not a good look there. All right, next up, talking about Bell here. Did he get a really bad contract offer from the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Well, the number one thing that I think is often overlooked is that the overall money value doesn't matter as much as the actual guaranteed money does. And it sounds like the Steelers' offer for Lev Bell lacked guarantees. Only about $10 million in the signing bonus, which Cam,
unreal.
I know I kind of defended Pittsburgh. That is not going to go over well with Lev Bell. So the signing bonus is spaced out over the length of a contract, which means Pittsburgh had about $2 million each year in a signing bonus. Yeah, he would have made $33 million over his first 2 years, but after a couple of years, he's easily cuttable. So if you're Lev Bell, why sign a 5-year deal when you're only getting security for maybe 3 of it?
It's not security at all.
It's not security. So signing bonus and guaranteed money matters. Now, there is more practical guarantees based on, the first and second year salary. Probably both of those were actually fully guaranteed, but only $10 million in signing bonus was Pittsburgh, I think, trying to say, hey, let's commit to 2 years at high price for Bell, and if he regresses, then we can just cut him, which Lev Bell doesn't want to do.
Sure.
So I think that was a big reason why Lev Bell did not sign his deal. And again, the halfback contract market is a mess. There is no baseline because the rookies lead the way.
No precedent.
It just doesn't make sense. So Fournette and Elliott, and when Barkley signs, will be your top 3 highest paid halfbacks.
Crazy.
Which is why, by the way, don't draft a halfback early. You're not getting very efficient money use.
All right, let's go to rumor number 3 here on the list. The age-old question, Earl Thomas to be traded. What is the buzz?
2 heads now. First off, Thomas, of course, has said he wants to be traded or get a new contract extension. The report from Jason La Canfora today, quote, I do think he'll be traded. I don't see him playing a full season with the Seahawks. And, of course, we've made the notes that the Cowboys have been heavily connected because Earl Thomas keeps talking about it, and I said it before in the past. The Steelers, though, the report from La Canfora is that they also love Earl Thomas. So just think about that one for a second.
Makes you say,
Especially if next year Lev Bell is no longer there. All of a sudden you got $14 million to play with and pay Earl Thomas. And because you're paying cheap money for a James Conner or Jalen Samuels at halfback. So I think more so now than since the NFL draft, it has become more likely we actually see an Earl Thomas trade. Your next date to circle on the calendar is when Seattle starts training camp. If Earl Thomas does not report, the trade buzz will only grow louder at that point. I don't know if ET is going to be a Seahawks because, frankly, I think Seattle's kind of in a rebuild. And at a certain point, if they can get a second-round pick for Earl Thomas and you're not going to be an actual Super Bowl threat because you're not going to be this year, that is more worthwhile than, let's just say, a third-round pick when, by the way, Seattle's got a lot of money to spend and could be even less than that.
All right, so there you go. We'll see what happens with Earl Thomas. You guys are watching NFL Daily, presented by Man Crates. If you know an awesome guy who needs a gift at Man Crates, gifts are carefully curated like a museum, but actually exciting. They've got jerky grams, project kits, and so much more. Check them out, mancrates.com. That's the way to go. All right, next up here on the rumor list, Tom, Terrell Owens returning to football.
2 heads because A, I'm not sure he's actually going to, and B, it's not the NFL, Cam.
Get excited.
It might be the CFL.
The Eskimos, maybe.
Eskimos, yeah, okay. I'll let you handle this because you love T.O. You think he can still play in the NFL? He can't, by the way. He's too old at this point.
T.O. can, of course, still play in the National Football League. Are you kidding me?
No, he can't. No.
Yes, he could.
No, he can't.
2 heads on this. I agree. I don't think he is, headed on a streamlined path to the NFL by any means, but he is trying to become...
He's 44 years old.
...the first active player in the Hall of Fame. All right? So just...
That's what he wants to do, by the way. That's his dream. I know it is, but it doesn't make any sense from a 44-year-old who hasn't played in reality since 2012, and that was in the offseason with Seattle.
All right, next up on the list, working quickly here, Rob Gronkowski won't hold out. 4 heads on this. This was expected.
Yeah, good news for the Patriots there. Again, the Gronk and the Patriots are working on a new restructure of his contract. That should get done as well, but he's not going to hold out in the meantime. And by the way, no, there won't be a trade, even though New England did shop Gronk before the trade deadline. He is going to stay in England for at least one more year, and then we can do it all over again next offseason camp.
Absolutely. All right, let's talk Aaron Donald because he's about to get paid. Is it happening before camp, though?
I think so, and I saw a lot of comments about how could the Rams pay Brandin Cooks before they paid Aaron Donald? And my initial thought was, well, you paid Cooks because now you think you're pretty close to a deal with Donald.
Yep.
And I think the reality is the Rams have the money allocated for Donald and Cooks and others. They can afford to pay Cooks right now, and now before camp they can get a deal done with Aaron Donald. I am kind of surprised that Donald wasn't the first player done, but I think that Donald and the Rams are close. It'll happen before camp, and there will be no holdout either, which is really good news for LA.
Next up here, Larry Fitzgerald will only play for Arizona. 4 heads, believe it. There's no way he's leaving.
And that means no trades if the Cardinals are bad this year to a contender. He says, if I'm not playing in Arizona, I won't be playing anywhere. Says he's built a good life for himself and he wants to play in the same place for his entire NFL career. The real question is, Cam, is this it for Fitz? Is this his last year? I kind of think it might be.
Becomes a UFA next season. So
1-year deal with Arizona if he wants to go back, but I don't know if he's going to play anymore with Arizona, or I should say in the NFL at all.
All right, how about the Jaguars? Are they going 16-0 in 2018? Tom, why do players predict things? Why do they do this?
Speaking of staying off the weed, Malik Jackson, you are fake news. You are not going to win 16 games in the regular season with Jacksonville. Are they going to be a good team? You bet. Here's the issue, Cam. There will never be a Blake Bortles-led team that wins 16 games in the regular season. It just ain't going to happen. Not going to happen whatsoever. This is just dumb. And by the way, he did the same thing last year, too. So he just likes to do this and hype himself up and hype up the Jags. It's just, come on. If the Patriots couldn't do it in recent years, is Jacksonville going to?
Well played.
I love the team. They're going to be, I think, a top 2 team in the AFC, but they're not going to go 16-0. Come on, guys.
All right, Tom, let's talk the national anthem. Will Jurrell Casey protest? Yes, he will. He said today. 4 heads. He's going to do it.
He's going to continue to keep his fist held during the national anthem and says, I'm going to take my fine. It is what it is. I ain't going to let them stop me from doing what I want to do. Because, again, Cam, the NFL's solution, in quotation marks, to the national anthem protest during it was not a solution. Because how can you have a compromise when you don't talk to the players involved?
It was a behind-closed-door situation, obviously.
A compromise among the owners themselves and not the actual players. That's why the NFLPA has already filed a litigation suit against the NFL and a grievance against it, because how can you instill something against the players without consulting them?
Do the protests during the national anthem bother you guys? Let us know in comments.
They don't bother me. Yeah. I think it's fine. Like, they're not protesting during the actual game.
Sure. Doesn't disrupt the game at all.
It's fine. I think this has gone wildly out of control, and the NFL has done a terrible job of managing it and handling it. They have botched this one from the beginning.
All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. This has been NFL Daily. I am Cam Rogers signing off alongside Tom Downey. We'll see you next time.